शुरुआत बड़ी खबर से कर रहे हैं. It's a Mega Times Now exclusive. Your channel has accessed a 2012 letter that reveals how, even though the panel had cleared the Rafale deal, then Defence Minister AK Antony was hesitant. These papers have never been revealed before, which Times Now accessed. Now, in a letter, Antony claimed that the process and the vendors of the deal may be re-examined. So the panel cleared the deal, but the UPA Mantri was hesitant. Let's go across to my colleagues who are joining with more details. We have with us Meghna Dekha joining us from the newspaper, principal correspondent Aditi also joins us along with Madhav and Srinjoy. Let me first go across to Meghna to know more about the contents of this particular letter. Yes, Meghna, over to you.
Absolutely. In fact, we managed to access the secret note. We are actually in a graphic format also giving it to you so that you can read it very clearly. This has been signed by AK Antony himself in the year 2012, 27/06/2012 by AK Antony at the time when he was the Raksha Mantri. In fact, one of the first excerpts that we are going to get for you is how he says, after the report has been finalized, this is the report about who should be the vendor for the Rafale deal. It says the entire issue of approach and methodology adopted by the CNC, which is the committee which was formulated to look into who this contract ought to be given to. Then the entire methodology adopted by the CNC to determine the vendor may be re-examined. This after all the recommendations were given. He says that there is a possibility that again we are going to re-examine it. It also goes on to say that the process may be re-examined by the MOD of Finance as well as the MOD of the Ministry of Defence to ensure that it is reasonable, appropriate and as per the laid down procedure. Another excerpt that we are going to get for you, all of this coming in from the office of AK Antony himself, saying that references received from MPs and the CNC for vendor determination may also be re-examined to remove doubt about integrity of the process. So, of course, questions now need to be answered as to why did they dump the deal despite the recommendations which were coming in. Srinjoy, Madhav are also going to explain to you, Swati, as to how and why the IAF required these Rafale jets so urgently, and despite that there was this delay.
Well, in fact, let's go across to Madhav on that point. Madhav, everybody knows that there was a sense of urgency that these aircrafts were the need of the hour. Despite that, AK Antony was hesitant and he in fact wanted the entire deal to be re-examined. The entire process, the methodology was being questioned by him.
Well, the fact is this, that, it is, of course, there is no doubt about the fact that since the Kargil war, this need has been felt for 126 fighter jets. And clearly, of course, this process has been hanging fire for a very, very long time. But despite all the processes really reaching a final culmination, why was this entire process then, in a way, abandoned and, started from the very word scratch? That's really a question that perhaps needs to be asked. Now, in the past, there have been such allegations that have been put out in the public domain, but this letter for the first time reveals the text of the exact wording and the exact circumstances in which really, of course, this entire matter was questioned by the then Defence Minister Mr. AK Antony. But also, of course, in the past when we've spoken to Mr. Antony, he has come out and said that this is because there were members of Parliament from various opposition parties who had raised questions on various finer points of the detail of the deal, and of course that really forced his hand to go ahead and order that this entire matter be relooked into. But the bigger question is this, that ultimately was politics or really the political compulsions of the day the reason for actually overlooking the entire deal, which had in fact been waiting or pending for more than a decade even at that point in time? That's really a big question that needs to be asked, because in this entire letter itself records about how there were anonymous complaints along with complaints in fact which had come in from members of Parliament. Was that, or should that really have been enough of a reason to actually abandon the entire process of defence acquisition, which in any case is an extremely complex and time-consuming process? That's a question that perhaps needs to be asked at this point in time, Swati.
Well, exactly. Aditi, was there a political compulsion? That many will ask. But also the important question here is, did the government back then and the Defence Minister back then not trust those who were a part of the panel who already had given a clearance to this particular deal? And was there in fact an attempt to delay and put at risk national security?
Well, it looks like that now that Times Now has accessed this exclusive secret note. And remember that this exactly has been the bone of contention between the Congress and the BJP, because the BJP has been questioning as to why there was a delay in finalizing the entire agreement on the purchase of these fighter aircrafts. At that point in time, there were various press conferences that were held by the Congress top leadership where they said that enough was being done, the protocols were being followed, but it all got changed and tweaked when the NDA came into power. Just a couple of days back as well, Swati, when Nirmala Sitharaman was addressing a press conference, she had particularly spoken about this particular report where she said that questions should be asked to the former Defence Minister during the UPA regime as to why he wanted everybody to come back to him to do a recheck on the deal that was almost about to be finalized. So questions being raised whether there was a deliberate attempt by the UPA top leadership to delay this particular deal. This despite the fact that Indian Air Force had already said that they are in desperate need for this aircraft. Just recently we saw a comment coming in from the Vice Chief of the Indian Air Force where he said that it is imperative for India, for our defence to actually get these aircraft because we do not have such high leveled equipments. So a lot of questions are going to be raised whether or not Mr. AK Antony can respond to those. Looks highly unlikely, because as Madhav was pointing out, because these questions were raised during the parliament session as well, but very cleverly the entire onus was yet again put on the NDA government.
Right. Well, Aditi, stay with us, because even as the opposition, even as Rahul Gandhi continues to call the Prime Minister chore, citing a scam in Rafale deal, Indian Air Force has given the government a clean chit. Indian Air Force Chief has defended the deal, saying it will be a game changer. He also said that Dassault was free to select its offset partner.
Answer to that is at the appropriate level the IAF was consulted. It was decided to procure 2 squadrons of Rafale on a G2G basis to meet the critical operation necessity of the IAF. We have bought 2 squadrons of aircraft under emergency purchase. They bought the F-16. We got 2 squadrons of MiG-23 MF. When the first air superiority fighter in the 4th generation, that is Mirage 2000, became available to us, we bought 2 squadrons of Mirage 2000. The Soviet Union offered us the MiG-29, then we bought 2 squadrons of MiG-29. None of these were licensed manufactured in India. And all of them, when you are not licensed manufacturing in India, normally the purchase has been of 2 squadrons. So 2 squadrons of Rafale was also purchased.
Let's go across to our National Affairs editor, Srinjoy Chaudhary, as well. Srinjoy, the Air Force was consulted. The deal was about to be finalized. In any way, this is a lengthy process and every aspect of the deal is looked into really minutely. Despite that, in the final stages, AK Antony felt that there was a need to re-examine the entire deal.
Yes, AK Antony wanted the deal re-examined. The entire re-examination would have taken several months. But the important point that the Air Chief has made is this, that if you had to go ahead and get the fighters that you desperately needed, and you could do an emergency purchase of 36, that is 2 squadrons, there were really 3 alternatives. Go ahead with the deal, the 126 deal of the UPS, but that was going nowhere because of the problem between HAL and Dassault. Dassault, let's not forget, was going to give you 18 and HAL was going to manufacture 108. There were enormous problems between Dassault and HAL, which actually led to the contract not going through. That's really the first point. The other alternative that could have been done at that point was to have another RFI, RFP, and that would have taken 6-7 years. There wasn't that kind of time, which was the only alternative at that point, was to have an emergency purchase of 36. Now, as the chief said, we bought MiG-23s like that, we bought MiG-29s like that, we bought Mirage 2000s like that. So why can't we buy 36 Rafales, which was actually done?
Well, absolutely. In fact, Srinjoy, thank you. Thank you to all our other colleagues also for joining us with those details. Let me, in fact, go across to our guests now. Let's open this up. We have with us Mr. Rajgopalan, senior journalist on the panel, along with the lawyer Farooq Khan, and Dushyant Nagar, political analyst, also joins us. Let me first go across to Dushyant Nagar. Dushyant Nagar, don't you think that the Congress party really needs to come out clean on this and answer why was there a delay? Why was AK Antony hesitant even after the entire process was followed by a panel which had given its clearance to this deal?
देखिए, 2 बातें मैं कहना चाहता हूं. पहली बात तो ये कि डिले होने से फर्क क्या पड़ता है.
डिले होने से नेशनल सिक्योरिटी आपकी रिस्क पर है।
सुन लीजिए मैडम, मैं वही बोलने जा रहा हूं। भारत एक परमाणु शक्ति संपन्न है, हमारी इतनी बड़ी आर्मी है, हमारे पास क्या नहीं है? हमारे पास ऐसी ऐसी मिसाइलें जो 7000 किलोमीटर तक मार कर सकती हैं। आप डिफेंस सिक्योरिटी की बात बोल के उसके पीछे छुप के बच नहीं सकते। ऐसा नहीं है कि रफाल नहीं है तो भारत की सुरक्षा को कोई खतरा है या भारत की सुरक्षा कमजोर है। भारत की सेना और हमारा सैन्यकरण इतना सशक्त है, इतना मजबूत है कि उसको कहीं से कोई चुनौती दुनिया में देने वाला नहीं है।
इंडियन एयरफोर्स सर चाहता था कि उसकी स्ट्रेंथ को बढ़ाया जाए। वही इंडियन फोर्स कह रहा था कि सेंस ऑफ अर्जेंसी है। नहीं, मैं उसमें सिर्फ एस्पेक्ट्स जोड़ रही हूं क्योंकि आप कह रहे हैं कि हमें जरूरत नहीं है, इसीलिए मैं कह रही हूं।
नहीं, देखिए मैं ये नहीं कह रहा, जरूरत है आधुनिकीकरण सेना का समय समय पे होते रहना चाहिए। समृद्ध राष्ट्र की निशानी है कि वहां की सेना भी शक्तिशाली हो, लेकिन ये नहीं है कि आपके पूर्व राष्ट्रपति फ्रांस के कह रहे हैं कि भैया हमारे सामने तो कोई विकल्प नहीं था, हमको तो एक नाम सुझा दिया गया, हमें उसी कंपनी के साथ जाना था। हाल के बारे में आप बात करते हैं HAL के बारे में, HAL के अभी एनुअल जनरल मीटिंग हुआ था उसके शेयर होल्डर्स का, वहां पे आंकड़े आए, कितनी अच्छी रिपोर्ट है। और क्या हाल ने कोई लड़ाकू विमान नहीं बनाया?
वो तो अभी अलग सवाल है, नहीं वो अलग सवाल है। अभी फिलहाल इस लेटर पर बात करते हैं। और फ्रांस के पूर्व राष्ट्रपति ने उसके बाद एक दूसरा बयान भी दिया कि दसौल से पूछे, आप दसौल से पूछे कि रिलायंस को चुनने के पीछे दसौल का फैसला था या उनके ऊपर थोपा गया था। वो दो बातें कह रहे हैं। मिस्टर राजगोपालन, प्लीज कम इन हियर, बिकॉज़
अगर कांग्रेस कह रही है तो कांग्रेस का कोई अपना हित नहीं है, देश के टैक्स पेयर्स का पैसा है, वो राष्ट्र हित में बात कर रहे हैं। उनके ऊपर सवाल उठाना है तो आप जांच कराइए, आप कराइए, JPC कराइए और सामने आइए, दूध का दूध और पानी का पानी होगा।
आप मुझे पूछा, मुझे
Congratulations
for the scoop story you have done. It's a very marvelous one. And it exposes Rahul Gandhi and Congress, because Congress was talking in the mid-air. They were only gas balloon chodte the. They have not got into that. AK Antony was afraid of Robert Vadra connection. That is the reason he stopped it. There should be a CBI inquiry into AK Antony's affair, because it is he who stopped it. क्योंकि AK Antony साहब को जानकारी था उस टाइम पर,
right.
रॉबर्ट वाड्रा बीच में आ गया, संजय भंडारी बीच में आ गया, इसीलिए देश का सुरक्षित का उन AK Antony ने बिकार न्यूट्रलाइज किया है। नंबर 1। नंबर 2 है, इसमें बहुत ही इंचार्ज कांग्रेस बहुत जवाब देना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि कांग्रेस इन्वॉल्व इन दिस। कांग्रेस वाज डिफरेड ऑफ मनी। AK Antony साहब का सारा चीज पता है, क्यों छुपा रहे हो AK Antony साहब?
What is AK Antony? What is AK Antony
Defence
hiding?
Minister.
Okay.
He knows it.
Dushyant Nagar.
There should be a CBI inquiry into AK Antony's
ठीक है, before I go across to Dushyant Nagar and Mr. Farooq Khan for a response on that, I have to take a very short break. एक छोटे से ब्रेक के बाद लौट रहे हैं, लेकिन इस बहस पर बने रहेंगे। Welcome back. All our guests continue to be with us. Times Now has accessed papers of the Rafale deal that clearly show that even after a clearance given by the panel, AK Antony was hesitant and he wanted the entire process to be re-examined. These are never before seen Rafale papers that Times Now has accessed. Let's go back to our guest, to Mr. Farooq Khan in fact. Mr. Farooq Khan, back then AK Antony did not trust the panel, the process, खुद से चुना हुआ पूरा प्रोसेस, खुद से चुने हुए वेंडर्स, और उस प्रोसेस पे उनको भरोसा नहीं रहा। एंड नाउ द कैग इज बीइंग नॉट बीइंग ट्रस्टेड। अब इसमें मांग हो गई है कि JPC से प्रोब करानी चाहिए।
See, I will tell you 2-3 points. Defense deals in India have been always hot cake for all political parties whosoever have been in the government, number 1. Number 2, the arguments being built up right now, I was hearing all the narratives. It is not the point that we tend to legitimize the problem which we are facing right now. Now the issue is that if the wrongs of Congress cannot be compared with wrongs of BJP. These two wrongs will not make one right, because the nation is paramount and above than BJP and Congress. The point is that if a JPC is constituted or any inquiry is constituted with regards to the objections and apprehensions which every common citizen has, there is no problem. Number 2, this is a clear case where a reputed public sector undertaking, HAL, has been denied an opportunity for a novice company that is called as Reliance Defence. Now the issue is that it was a Dassault that has the option to choose Indian partner.
Right.
That does not goes well within the reasonable thoughts.
Now, if Dassault has chosen,
as a country, as a nation, we are not
Reliance
bound
Mr.
to
Rajagopalan,
accept the dictats of France.
then what probably is wrong, or is it that the Congress party is trying to find a problem with this entire Rafale deal?
Swati ji, Congress is trying to create an alibi, and they do not have. They are wanting that type of things to be emerged, and there is no corruption as such in this. Who took it? Did Rajiv Gandhi has Rajiv Gandhi got money from buffers? Is there same pattern? Narendra Modi, did he get money from here? Who got that? And second thing, there are experts. There are 8 companies chosen. One among them is Anil Ambani.
Right.
There was one Tamil Nadu company, Lakshmi Mills.
Right.
There are Mahindra and Mahindra, other security agencies. Offset class means you can make it in India. That 8 companies, they also should come out.
Absolutely.
Apart from that, Madam Swati, I am telling you, Mr. Sharad Yadav has written a letter to Mr. AK Antony. Mr. Maisura Reddy, Telugu Desam MP, has written a letter to MP. So there are, why Mr. AK Antony stalled this?
Absolutely. Why did he stall it? Why was he hesitant?
That is the question of times.
Why did he not trust the panel?
Antony should come clean
And the
because
clearance
he has
given by
done
the
something
panel.
major.
In fact, those questions, we'll continue to ask those questions to the Congress party, and the Congress party clearly will have to come clean on this, especially Mr. AK Antony. For the moment, I'm completely out of time for this debate. Thank you to all our guests. Thank you for joining us on the debate. Thank you for your time.